Last Wednesday of January. I feel like this first chapter of 2021 flew, but I am first off so proud. I think everybody in here is doing Control Freak, and you guys have been crushing it. It's been so cool to have our groups together. So I just wanted to shout out everyone. Um, does anybody else want to go first for recognition? Putting you on the spot when you're eating, Jess. You want me to unmute you? Morgan, go.
I can go first. Okay. I want to shout out my coach Amanda. She like started her own kind of like newsletter type thing and is just really excited to get that going and using Flowdesk for it, and I'm excited for her.
Super cool.
All right, I'll go before I transition to my laptop, but I was going to shout out Violetta, who I know wasn't able to make it on the call tonight, but she's on the Success Club board. Emily is one person away from locking in Success Club. So our team is crushing it. Let's keep going, ladies. And I'm still one person away because I had a return order. I was fully transparent with you guys. So I'm in the trenches working with you. I will be power houring right after this call.
So hop on the workout link if you want to get work in with Jess, because she will be there. Anyone else got any recognition? All right, well, I'll go because I have a few. So Christine's speaking tonight, but she's halfway to Emerald, and you guys will learn a little bit more about her story. But this is actually a discount coach that's never canceled in 3 years, that just went active again. So that's just like proof. Staying consistent on your journey, you just never know. So I know you're going to knock Emerald out of the park so soon. And then my new coach, Emily, she literally just texted me and she's like, I just got my first customer. So she did the new coach training pretty quickly. She said it was awesome. And she just actually signed up a guy with Shakeology. So she earned elite points for our team for 2021. And I'm super proud of you for celebrating your first customer, because that's always a great feeling. And then Allie is just always a friggin' rock star. She's pushing SC10, and I'm super proud of you for helping 4 people. I can't even keep track because sometimes she helps so many. So, and then I want to shout out the message pod today, because you guys, like, Moana really got deep and opened up. And I know Christine and I chatted, and she was like, I'm so glad that someone else said that they were struggling. And I think it's so important to like speak up when you're like, this isn't working, or like, what am I doing? Like, this is frustrating me, or why aren't people answering? Like, we as like the leaders love that kind of stuff, because secret is out. Like, we've all experienced that. And a lot of times it's just like getting out of your head and needing to release it somewhere. So I would encourage you guys, especially when you go into Team Cup and you start elevating your actions and really being consistent, expect you're going to hear more no's, expect that it's going to be a little emotional, but also expect that this community is going to be here to talk you off the ledge and be like, girl, this is normal. You're going to get through it. The other person on the side of the screen isn't going to come into your house and like take you away. It's really okay. So keep, I'm glad someone's laughing, Anna. Keep sharing that stuff was basically the point, because we all have those feelings at times. And I just think it's super cool that we can feel open enough to share them. Any other recognition? And I love seeing so many faces on a team call. It fires me up. All right. So Jess and I are going to kind of tag team this. You guys know it's new coach panel night, so we're not going to talk that much. Thank goodness. You guys hear me talk all the time. But Christine and Sarah are speaking tonight, and I'll just introduce Christine for you guys, and then Jess can give a little intro to Sarah. So Christine is actually not my personal sponsored coach. She's in my downline, and she has been around, I think, since 2018, maybe. I don't know. She's been around the block for a while. She does every test group. She goes all in, especially when it comes to autumn. And guys, she's texted me almost every summit since then saying, all right, Danielle, I'm going all in. When you get back, we're having a call. Like, I'm going to coach. I'm going to do it. And guess what? it wasn't until this year that she's like, no, really, I'm going to do it. So she'll share a couple things that she's experienced. And I asked her to be on because I think that is a really important reminder that discount coaches sometimes need that time to like evolve and grow in their own journey. And that's okay. You know, people can be a preferred customer or discount coach and be your next rock star. So also the importance of like working with your downline, even if they're not your personally sponsored coach, don't leave those people hanging. Like, be connected with them, because Christine and I have actually become really great friends, and she's even traveled to Atlanta when I used to live there. So, all right, Jess, intro Sarah, because she's awesome too.
So Sarah and I are coworkers in real life. And I remember, I think we connected on social media, and she told me, oh yeah, I started Beachbody 2B Mindset. I'm down 10 pounds. And I'm like, well, are you working with a coach? And she's like, not anyone that I know, or something like that. And I was like, well, come like join my group and my support group. So that happened back in, I think, end of August, and she got straight set up with the discount customer program so that she could get 25% off, and was just kind of hanging around there, but was immediately a big presence in our challenge groups. And I was like, girlfriend, you need to be a coach. And she was like, yeah, maybe one day, but like, I'm kind of shy. That's not really me. And every month that kept being the thought in my brain. She actually joined back in September, our coach sneak peek. She was on like black screen, putting her kids to sleep. Like, that's the commitment that Sarah puts into these things. And I'm like, oh my God, dream team coach right here. Fast forward to January, and she's like, I'm going all in. Mind you, she's never done an autumn program before. So she had no idea the kind of love that we have for autumn going into 9-week Control Freak. She commits all in, doing the 3-day refresh starting on Jan 1. Jan 4th is the day 1 of 9-week Control Freak. And I think, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're like 15 pounds down or something crazy like that this year, which is insane. The commitment that she's put in and the way that she physically has felt her own personal commitment and emotional journey going through this as a coach versus a customer. So with that, I'm so happy to welcome Sarah as a coach to our team. In the first month, she's not only hit Success Club, she's hit Emerald. She's been able to change lives and just really inspire others through an additional commitment to her journey that she's felt from the coaching program versus customer. So yeah, I guess, Danielle, we can just get started with the first intro questions.
All right, Christine, you ready? She's like, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to say. I'm like, girl, we're good. All right, Christine. So share, obviously they know you've been around the block, but share like, how did you connect with your coach? Did you say no a lot? What was that process for you? And now in 2021, why is now the time that you're coaching?
So I did my first Beachbody program. I don't even remember the year, but I did Insanity, and I was like, not for me. And then before my wedding in 2015, I did 2 rounds of 21 Day Fix, and I lost like 6 pounds, 12 pounds total maybe. And then I, whatever, that was 2015. And then I kind of just dabbled in challenge groups, and I actually ended up meeting my coach through challenge groups. She was kind of the one consistent person that was in all the groups that I was in. And at the time I had just signed up with a random coach, so I didn't have any interaction with someone, just, friends who were signing me up for these coaches. So she said, let's get you signed up as a discount coach, even if it's just for the discount on the Shakeology. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I was given about a 6 or 7 in training. There wasn't a lot of tools back then. We were still doing Facebook groups only. There was maybe like a year in is when they started the My Challenge tracker. So it was really just like, you were either in a Facebook group or you were kind of off on your own trying to figure it out for yourself. So I would say I was probably like the star challenger discount coach of her group, because I did consistently say yes to doing all the test groups, and I was working out every day, but I didn't really have any sort of there wasn't any pathway to like helping other people at that point. So anyway, flash forward again, my coach is kind of MIA. She has a lot of stuff happening in her life. I don't really talk to her anymore, but I did, hook up with Danielle via my coach. So that was great. And then in 2018 is when I kind of really like, I did 80-day obsession and I lost almost 20 pounds. And I've kept it off. And that was kind of like the thing for me, that I started getting a lot of messages from friends saying, what the hell are you doing? How are you doing it? I want to do that. And I was like, oh, like I can help these people. Cause I remember when I was just a challenger, I would see these incredible before and after photos and just think like, oh God, wouldn't that be great? Like I would love to look one day and be like, ooh, look at that before and after, she did it. And then I did it. So I was pumped. And Danielle was working on Super Saturday in Atlanta, and Autumn was going to be there. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. And Danielle was like, girl, why don't you come down and share your story? So I did. I flew my ass from Boston to Atlanta. I met Danielle in person. I got to tell Autumn Calabrese how I loved her and how she changed my life. And what I really took away from that weekend was the community that is in this Beachbody. Like, it's not just the weight loss. It's like the friggin' community. Being in a room with 500 people who are psyched about coaching and helping people. And I swear to God, like maybe once or twice they mentioned commission, but it really was just at the core about helping people. And that's why I signed up. And that's why when I commit to these programs and I start to feel like I know what I need to do to help other people, is when I get really ramped up to want to coach and help people. And now that I'm so close with Danielle, I feel like, I'm finally kind of on the right path, and I'm really, really ready to jump in this time. I promise. I swear. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting started. My husband and I own a restaurant, so COVID's been a real pain in the ass for us, and we're trying to figure all that out. So in the meantime, the thought of the extra income is awesome. But I also really just at the core, like I really do just want to help other people feel as awesome as I do when I'm fully committed to a program. So that's what's brought me here again and again and again. And that's what's kept me here. So that's my story.
And she said she was scared to share tonight.
I mean, I was just nervous because you guys are all new faces, and I don't know. I mean, I don't feel intimidated by anyone. Obviously, everyone's so kind and welcoming. It's just,
I'm just giving you a hard time. I think the cool thing about these coach panels, though, is for all of us to get to know each other, right? Like that's what I love about it. So, all right, yeah. Sarah.
Well, I don't know how you follow that one up. So I guess sort of the same question. So I joined, I actually bought Alana's book, which the title, I can't, like You Can Lose It, I think it's called, and listened to the whole thing and was obsessed. So I went on and bought the To Be Mindset program by myself, just the nutrition part, because I felt like if I tried to tackle both working out and nutrition at the same time, like I wouldn't be able to do it, right? If I worked out, then I always talk myself into like, I can eat more things because I worked out. So I just wanted to focus on nutrition only. And Jess said she's my real life coworker. So we had been at a couple of work events together, and I added her on Instagram. And our job, like a lot of people's jobs, can be like really consuming and 24/7 and super male dominated. So you feel like you have to work 4 or 5 times more hours than anyone else just to be heard. And I was watching someone on Instagram in our industry be successful in our industry, but also like have a life outside of just that. So I started to follow her more and watch her stories and buy 8,000 pairs of earrings that I usually wear. I have them off right now. I had them on today. We're actually all on a conference call, and 3 of us had the same pair of earrings on in different colors. We're starting a whole trend. She's going to be outfitting the whole company soon. But so yeah, I think I just answered probably so many of her polls over and over again that she reached out and I joined in. And what really has changed, besides being in the groups with everyone and feeling inspired was I kind of accidentally signed someone up before I really committed to fully coaching. Another coworker of us was like, hey, tell me more about what you're doing. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember watching the team call and I got a share cart link and she signed up and I was like, oh, wow, someone actually wanted me to coach them. Okay, well, I guess we should do this. And then even just that one person that 1 week, I'm an externally motivated person, right? So as much as I tell myself I want to do it, I can make all the excuses. But knowing that there was someone else now who was ready for me to show up and me to show my results and even me to show when I wasn't getting results and working through that, just knowing there was one other person who was counting on me, that I was like, oh, okay, brushing my teeth, dinner and done, definitely going to get up. I don't want to miss being tagged in the 6:30 a.m. Instagram. So I better get out of bed and get on there before someone takes a picture. So yeah, all of that has just really, really changed a lot for me. So, and I have 2 Instagrams now because I don't know if anyone's heard of Chatbooks, but so it's like a service that prints your Instagram photos into albums. So my private one I use for like photos of my kids because I'm terrible at printing pictures. So it's just like an automatic memory thing. So I made a new one. And just posting on there has gotten easier and easier as time has gone on, and it helps hold me accountable. And, I didn't want to post workout videos at first, and now I just, plus when you speed them up, you look a little better and tougher anyway. but when it's slow, it's like, when it goes really fast, you look stronger. But yeah, just every day, it's just easier to do and easier to share. And I know there are a lot of other full-time working moms of multiple kids who, I want to help show it's okay to take time for yourself, even if it's 35 minutes a day. So that's my new.
Let me just mention one thing. So she says she has another Instagram, which I know a few other coaches who do this too. But one thing that Sarah is super strategic about and didn't even need coaching on is she plugs into her personal Instagram and says, hey, I just shared this recipe on my Instagram for fitness and health, go follow it. Like daily, she's got little snippets that are interesting and curious, whether it's a workout thing or a community thing or a health thing. She's got something that's pulling her audience that already knows and trusts her from her personal Instagram to her other one daily, in a way that continually feels like so genuine. Like I love her little, hey, my kids won't eat sandwiches with the normal crust stuff, but tap to see the cute little sandwich and it's like a dinosaur. Yeah. So I have never even coached her on that, but those are things that have helped her build a following for a second Instagram. So I've got another question for you guys. I'm going to bump back to Christine. So Christine, you kind of mentioned in your like opening conversation, you've gone in and out of like, I'm in, but maybe not. I'm interested, but maybe not. Was there a thing that kind of like held you back from going all into coaching before? Like, what was your biggest concern about coaching and this opportunity and going all in before doing it now? And then Sarah, you'll answer afterwards.
Sarah kind of hit the nail on the head when she said, how sharing is so important when you're doing great, but also when you're not doing great. And I think for me, that was something that I had a hard time sharing when I wasn't all in, when I wasn't 100%, when I lost, let's say I lost like 20 pounds doing 80-day obsession. I gained 7 back and was really not proud of that. And in my head, I'm thinking, how am I supposed to help someone if I can't, get my own shit together? But then you kind of realize that, this isn't about, doing time nutrition perfectly 365 days a year. It's just about making a really healthy lifestyle and healthy habits. And I think now that I've had a better handle on that for a longer amount of time, I don't feel like my failures are failures. I feel like that's just my life. And if I'm going on a vacation for a week and I happen to cheat and gain a couple of pounds, that's life. I come home and I get back on. And I think that's what's kind of made me more excited, is because it's not dieting for me anymore. I've consistently lived following a workout and nutrition plan for 2 years that, I've done this with my weight, but I've never spiked back up. And I feel like I'm confident enough to share that in the good and the bad and all the stuff in between, and I've lived it. So I feel like if I know how it feels, it would be easier to help someone else get through that same experience. Also, my shipment of your earrings is coming in on Friday, and I'm very excited.
I have a whole space dedicated to my clays. But yeah, so for me, I think it took me a long time to wrap my head around. I don't have to be super in shape for people to want to do this with me. I think I said to Jess a couple times, like, well, let me just finish a program. Well, let me just finish this program. Well, let me just, like you said, be able to show some crazy super before and after, or look better, or be more fit, or lose more weight. But sometimes people just want to hang out and talk to people that, look a little more like them and live a little more like them. And I think what actually in the workout yesterday, Autumn said, you're not here to prove yourself, but to improve yourself. And that's been a huge change. Like, I don't have to, shove Beachbody down everyone's throats necessarily all day. Like, it's more just showing who you are, and people want to hang out with who you are, and, just try to get a little bit healthier in the process. So I think just feeling like I don't need to be, I'm not their trainer, right? I'm just their support person, their cheerleader. Once I think I got past that is when I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm having a lot of fun. So why can't I share that?
All right. I got a next question. It's kind of going off script just of how you guys are flowing. And I'm going to have Sarah go first. So you don't always have to go second. What is something that's going well for you right now that you're implementing in your business that could like maybe that you were surprised at, or like Jess kept telling you should do this and you're like, wow, this actually works? Or like, what is something that is just working well for you because you are super busy and you are proof that you can still be successful and be super busy? So you probably know all the hards that the girls have here. What is something that's working well for you?
Well, two things. I think definitely it's in the new coach training to go through your 5 things, right? So the most interaction I'm seeing is not on my workout stuff, right? It's not on, well, I've had a pretty good month, so a lot of it is on my current weekly progress, but the most stuff is really on pictures of my kids' crazy sandwiches. And like right now my phone's blowing up because my kid and I cheers to broccoli today at dinner. And, it's just all of those things that's important to share. And I've sort of transitioned over the past couple weeks from, I don't want to say but like from mimicking exactly all of your posts to now shifting them more like me, right? And so I definitely am more comfortable in what I'm posting, because I'm not just trying to be like, oh, well, she just posted that, so I should post something just like that. Oh, she, I know she's a successful coach, so I'll just screenshot her thing and then post it on my thing. Like, I'm starting to make it more about my journey and myself and my crazy life. And I've definitely seen a lot more interaction in that. And, really just, I didn't invite for a while. I kind of liked and messaged and added and was just like, oh, what are they gonna say? But like last night I sent out 6 and one person came back and was like, yeah, send me pricing. I totally am busy. She just got married. She has 2 stepdaughters. She's a teacher. Her stepdaughters are like 12 and 8. So she's helping them and teaching from home. And I was like, you have time to do this? It's like 35 minutes. And the other 5 people just didn't respond. So it's not like I, got stabbed in the heart or was told to go away or lost any friends. It was just like, okay, I'll try again, in a couple of weeks. So that's been a huge thing that, it doesn't have to be so personal and it doesn't have to take a ton of time. I kind of block out I've been trying to get better at not working while I eat my lunch, just taking a break and paying attention to eating. So right at the end of that time I block out, I take like 15 minutes to just check in with everybody. Usually right after the kids go to bed, because they get up like 6 or 7 times for water and the bathroom and water again and another hug. And during that chunk of time is when I'll go through and check in with everybody and add people. And the geotags have been super helpful. Although I was like, I don't know where I go. I haven't gone anywhere in a year. I guess hiking, so, but I found a lot of other moms like in my area from our favorite hiking spots. So that's been good. But yeah, just really breaking it down into 15-minute chunks of time. And then usually when someone posts they're doing a power hour, I try to also jump in because, it's that or watch more Great British Bake Off. So, which I've seen every episode like 600 times, but it is easy to fit in. It doesn't have to be anything that takes up your whole day, but when you're into it, it's easy to do. So.
Awesome. All right, Christine, I'm going to word this a little bit differently to you because I know that you've made one big change in your social media that you used to do, what I'm going to say. And I think this is important for newer coaches to hear. And then also I want you to talk about your quote from Super Weekend, because I think for her, she's still learning her 5 things and how to share them. But because she's always shared her journey for the past 2 years, that's been a strength. So talk about the importance of doing that, because it's scary to share your first before and after, right? Your coach might be pushing you like, why haven't you showed your progress? So talk a little bit about that.
Well, for my stories, I've learned to stop using Beachbody terminology to create a little bit of mysteriousness in my stories. But
why do you do that?
Why do I share? Why do I not share? Why was I sharing? Oh, because then anyone can just go Google it, But I want them to ask me, what are you doing? What's that track thing you're pulling on? Or even my shakes, every morning I post that little like looking down in my shake picture, and today was a weird color, but anyway, at Super Weekend I said, I don't remember verbatim. You remember verbatim. It was people will take your invite as seriously as you take your commitment or your fitness or your journey, or that being consistent with sharing is key, because you want someone to be talking to their friend who's like, I just imagine like if I had 2 girlfriends that were out at at lunch or something, and someone said, oh god, I just want to lose like 5 pounds, like the first person that should pop into their head is me. Like, oh, Christine does that and I see her working out on social media all the time, I wonder what she's doing. And I'm working on, as Danielle said, my 5 things, because I've been in the same habits of my social media for so long, and it has just been sharing my journey. I haven't really been using it as a business tool. So that's something I'm definitely working on. But if there's one thing I know I'm not, if there's one thing I'm really good at, it's sharing my journey and my workouts and my before pictures and my after pictures. But I have to get better at sharing more of me, So. Did I answer?
Well, and I think it's important, like she doesn't just share her workouts. It's part of like her story and her characteristics, like the way her personality, right? Because there's a difference of being like, here's my shake, and it's like to the viewer, you have to, something that I really encourage all of you to do is maybe have somebody else on the team that goes through your stories or your posts like once a week and gives you honest feedback, like no BS. What am I taking away from this? And we're going to talk about this in February, so I get kind of fired up about it. But to Christine's point, she has this strong foundation, and people notice, like, if it's rest day, tell people it's freaking rest day and tell them what you're doing and why you're doing it. If it's your back day, don't say I'm doing 9-week control freak, because that doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? Like from an outsider's perspective, who cares? But if you're talking about 30-minute workouts, if you're talking about, I have all these people on my team that are seeing great results, if you're talking about how quick and fun it was, that's what people care about. So I think it's just a good point for Christine to like say like, yeah, I'm working on this stuff too. So if you guys are lost on like, how do I post? You're not the only freaking one. All right, well, we are at 30 minutes. So I figured that unless Jess, you had anything else, if you guys want to open it up and ask them anything rapid fire now.
I was gonna do one more quick question, and it's probably like a few sentences, so that'll be 5 minutes, and then that gives the opportunity for anyone who has questions, think of them, be ready to ask them right after we're done with this. But what I was gonna say is both of you guys were challengers for 6+ months, let's just say that to encompass both people, before becoming coaches. What would you say to yourself back when you were a challenger that is different now that you're a coach? Like, what are you recognizing as the difference in terms, like, I know one of the big things Sarah's talked about is how coaching has brought more accountability to her journey. And because coaching has been a discussion for both of you from the beginning, what would you add to that conversation to yourself when you were a challenger to say, hey, this is what you should know about the coaching world? Does that make sense? It's kind of it makes sense in my head, but I want to make sense or it can make sense coming out.
I definitely think when I first started with even like it's so hard because I feel like every coach and community, like coaching community, has a different way of training people. And I think for me, why I was so hesitant to just go for it was because I felt so uncomfortable asking people to join, inviting, it never felt like what we're learning now is to really make relationships with people and go about it, where it's just kind of like it just happens organically. So I think that if I could go back to 6 months or a year ago, I would just say, to just share authentically, and people are going to ask you, it doesn't have to be, there's not so much pressure on, like reaching out to everyone, saying, buy a challenge pack and join my group. It's just, it happens organically when you're sharing yourself authentically.
I guess my thing I would tell myself would be that it's not just about the money. I think that was a huge thing, the idea of a business, right? Like I have this crazy job and I have 2 very young children and a husband and a house and now 2 pets, and like that stressed me out, that idea of that and managing more money. And like one of the first questions I asked Jess was like, what about my taxes? Like I haven't even made any money yet. And I was still like, what about my taxes? Because I do those. So yeah, I think like I would have told myself like, it's not about the money. I mean, it's there and it helps and, it's great, but this is really more about a community. It's about making friends. It's about making each other better and finding other people you want to be friends with to make it better, not just trying to get people to spend money. So yeah, I was like, my taxes! Do I get a 1099? How do I do this? What do I sign off? How do I print? Yeah, it was, money.
You were such Jess's coach. All right, guys, this is awesome. What questions do you have? What do you want to know more about? Don't be bashful. Or this was helpful. I really learned a lot. You guys inspired me. Any good compliments?
Can I say, I just wanted to say that if I had, even like a month ago, if Danielle had come to me and said, hey, will you talk about coaching on a call with all of these women who are into coaching? I'd be like, are you crazy? So this is really great. And I've only really been at it for like maybe 2.5 weeks, but it's really like the energy is super inspiring in this group. So I'm really excited for Team Cup and for the next couple of months to see how this is gonna go. I'm wicked excited. I'm from Boston, kid. Ah! Okay.
She's kind of not my PS coach in some aspects, especially when the Super Bowl comes around. Just saying. Oh man. Okay, I should stop. All right, anything, guys? If not, we can pop off and get to work or go relax or go do your controlled stretch.
Or hop on the workout link and power hour with me.
Yeah, go. I was gonna say, go work. All right, awesome, guys. Well, I'll be putting the February calendar up. I'm not going to go through it right now because I feel like we're too tired. I should have done that in the beginning. But just know some exciting things are coming for February. We're going to be doing a flash sale along with Team Cup. So that will be a great way to like give back to your people that are like, I don't know. So we'll get all the details to you next week. And then we'll have our Diamond Dash coming in March as well. So for new coaches, you probably heard that word thrown around. So step 1 is Emerald. Let's go help 2 people in the next week because everybody on this call can. I believe in you guys. Keep using the message pod. I love y'all. And go finish the month strong because you can. All right, guys. See ya next week.